we could have grabbed you one.
I think I should be running back out there right now. We're first today, right?
Yes. I'm way more nervous for this than I was.
Coach, congratulations on the victory. If you could give us a opening statement about today's game.
Great team across the field. Did a great job this year in our league, won the league, and they're a phenomenal team. So the quality of that team explains how well these guys executed today to win that game on this stage. They're dangerous. They have just a variety of arms out of the bullpen that they can use, and we saw basically all of them. And at this time of the year, everybody's bullpen's been weathered a little bit. So I know that both sides, those guys have delivered for them all season. And Armstrong got us into that, had a little tweak there that he was able to work his way through and used the changeup well, kept the fastball down. There was a lot of weak contact today. I thought our defense did a really nice job of managing the ground balls and things that came up. Really nice 3-1, the 4-6-3. Cam had a couple nice plays at third. Pick at first base was a big moment in the game when Holtz picked off Honeycutt, I think it was. And then the 5-4 in the ninth looks like nothing, but if you try to make more out of that, that wasn't going to be a double play ball. So just to make sure you contain that and get one out, just kind of contains the momentum. Both fifth innings were really good. The at-bats we had, our left-handed hitters hung in there beautifully on Pence. He's tough on the lefties. I think it's Pence. And our lefties were on it. And then if you're going to score in this situation, in this tournament, you're going to have to do some of it with 2 outs because the ability to string it together with no outs or 1 out is just hard to do because of the quality of the arm and the execution and just the overall talent. So the left-handed hitter at-bats in the middle of the game and then some of the 2-out hitting was big. And we walked today 8 times, maybe 7 or 8 got hit, I think. But we never really could separate. And then you feel like today's a day the home run's probably minimal. Jackson's at bat had a great ball game for us, and then Max to hit one through that 30-mile-an-hour wind. I didn't know it could be done, but he did it. Holt's response, 4+ innings, amazing. And he told me we were going to the ninth. He comes in the dugout after they don't even think about it. And there were some other words mixed in there. So I'm so happy for him. And it's hard to walk off that field the way it went on Friday night. You guys all saw it, know it. And he really answered. Both of these left-handers really did a nice job. And Whitaker's been so good for us. And we mapped it out. And sometimes you get to the situation where you line it up the way you want to line it up. And it doesn't always go the way you want it, especially against teams that are this talented and players with those capabilities. So Holtzy to come in and finish the 5th and just roll with it. Just a phenomenal testament to his toughness and resolve to deliver.
Great. Thank you, Coach. We'll open questions right now for the student athletes.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Jackson, it felt like all postseason you've just been poised and waiting for an offensive game like this, and then you bust out and finally have a big one here on this stage. Can you tell us a little bit about how that feels and just being able to catch Andrew, too, and how well he worked the ball early?
Feels amazing, being able to contribute, especially as an offense like this, being in the 9-hole. Your job just to get on base, and set the table. So that's all I was really focusing on, not trying to do too much. And, catching Army, man, he's one of the toughest guys I've ever played with. And, he wasn't feeling too well today, but he gutted it out for us. And that's just who he is and what he does. And, I couldn't be more proud of him.
Questions for student athletes? Right here.
Andrew, just first of all, how were you feeling? What did you have to work through today? And what was your approach against this UNC lineup? Wilson Moore, Omaha World Herald.
Yeah, it was just like a little oblique something going on in there. I dealt with it in the fall and in the preseason. It hasn't bothered me in a while, but flared up today pretty bad. And I don't know, I was just trying to throw strikes, get ahead with the way the wind's blowing in today. Sometimes that's all you have to do. And I felt like the changeup really worked. It was keeping them off the fastball and everything else. So great defense behind me, making plays. Just makes it easy for me.
66er.
66er. That's what Coach taught me this morning.
How about that? We didn't even use it, right?
Questions for the student athletes? Great. Sam, sorry.
Connor, it seems like you used the fastball a lot more today. Just how big was that for you to keep them off the breaking balls?
Yeah, it was definitely probably the biggest component in my outing today. Being able to locate the fastball in any count was new to my game. I haven't done it in a few weeks. I mean, it's there, but me and Coach Posey have been talking about it. We're going to mix in some more fastballs, mix in some more changeups, start getting the hitters off the curveball. When I was able to locate some fastballs and then expand on my off speed when needed, it definitely worked out in our favor. So,
Last two questions for the players right here again.
Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. Jackson, this is for you. Since the Super Regional starts, you guys have averaged, I think, 12.2 runs a game. Of course, your offense was probably pretty good all year, but it's really clicking now. Why?
I think we've done a better job as an offense, kind of putting together better at-bats. There was some times in the season where we were having quick at-bats, not really giving these guys what they need. Our identity as an offense is just continuing to scratch and claw, and we've kind of morphed into that, and I think it's kind of just continuing to grow. So we've just been running with that, and I think that's been a big contribution to our success.
Okay, last question for the students.
Matt Talmy from World Baseball Network. Jackson hitting a huge home run in the ninth inning, going back-to-back with Williams. What's it mean to just have that type of offense for you guys this season, even dating back to August for the fall season?
I mean, it's everything, This is the best 8 teams in the country, and all these teams can do just about everything, and being able to slug it with the best of them definitely helps. It takes pressure off these guys. So we're just trying to do our job and set the table and kind of give these guys a good cushion to pitch with, with these offenses. So.
Players, thank you very much. Congrats on the victory again.
Thank you.
Micah slid the scouting report under my door at 2 in the morning to know how hard he worked on that. 2 o'clock.
Okay, we'll open it for questions for Coach now. We'll start from right here.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. In a CWS where runs have been a little bit at a premium, why has your offense been able to travel well and do what it's done these 3 games?
They seem very focused. They're talented. Our assistant coaches do a really good job of giving them an idea of what's going on with each arm. Like I said, Micah, he slid the scouting report from North Carolina under my door at 2 o'clock in the morning. He worked on it that hard. And then Ty and Brad and some of our other staff put together video and other things. So those guys are doing some work that allows the hitters to feel comfortable when they walk up there. And that's not easy to do. And you just had to run through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arms, all different, all really good. And when you see the information that's handed to the kids, it's not over the top, it's accurate, and it gives them a heads up. So that's part of it. And that's a new phase of the game with all the technology and the information that you have, is how do you condense it and allow it to be something in the dugout they can use. It's hard to go through with the team in a scouting report meeting the 13 arms they have available. So we'll touch on a few, but they have the video access to glance at some of the stuff, and then the black and white information that's in the dugout helps. We have a nice mix of left, right-handed hitter. I don't think it's easy to game plan and match up when we stagger it the way we do. There's length in the lineup. Some of those young guys, this is a young group. It's a young group. Sophomore, junior, junior, sophomore, senior, sophomore. So they're still learning. So I think the growth throughout the course of 60 games, they're just getting better. And, the focus, the talent, the information, the improvement, the maturity, the toughness of the overall team. You walk because pitchers fear making mistakes. So you have to be then disciplined enough not to swing at everything to give your opportunity count-wise to actually walk or get hit. So it was a combination of everything today, and that's really been our story all year. We have a lot of different ways that we can be a good offensive team.
Questions for Coach? Right over here.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Curious about your thoughts about getting another shot at Tennessee, obviously, especially with the way the game transpired on Friday night and kind of the fireworks back and forth there.
Can't wait. They're really good. They're really good. And I've dealt with that program at their place in the Super in 22. Thought it was one of the most talented college baseball teams I'd ever seen. And this one's right there in that same conversation. That game was very close to being pendulum swung our way, and it did not. It's tough. I'll just say the response of these guys after how difficult that was, and for this kid to throw over 4 innings, think about how he felt up until he probably threw a few pitches in this game. I can't imagine what that was like. So they're ready. We'll figure out the pitching. If anybody wants to ask me who's starting, just save it because I don't know. We'll figure it out. But they're really, really good. There's no wiggle room in the lineup. They have a variety of arms. They're talented. They've been here. They've played in this stadium a lot. So excited. I recognize the difficulty of beating that team. It takes everything you got. You have to finish. You have to defend. You have to execute pitches. And you have to be versatile and complete offensively to figure out a way to do it.
Okay, we've got 2 more. One right there and one right there.
Connor basically pitched backwards to the way that he pitched all year. Just to see him make that adjustment and execute it on this stage, just what was that like for you?
Micah Posey knew what he had to do, and sometimes plan A isn't the plan that can get you through it. And when you get enough information on pitchers, you know the percentages. You guys probably all know it. There's a tendency for him to lean on that breaking ball, and it's really good. It spins as well as any breaking ball in the big leagues. But these hitters, once they've seen it and the scouting report information, that probably alone isn't enough. And when you're coaching the game, like Mike is calling the pitches, he's playing the game. Like it's Nintendo of I'm trying to dial this correctly for them. Now they have to execute it. So he takes ownership in the fact that sometimes what you wanted to do or that player has done for most of the year may not be the script that allows you to get through a championship-type game in this setting. And the fastball usage was beautiful. He threw a changeup and got a fly ball to right. Micah was disappointed in how that looked, but fine. He mixed the fastball in, and then it changes how you view that breaking ball that comes up and has such bite when you can stuff one in there at 90 miles an hour, really to either side of the plate. So great job by Holtz and gutsy by Micah to go to that plan B in this setting. Brilliant.
Okay, last question.
Link, Brady Oltmans from the Orlando Sentinel. You talked about Holt stepping up, and after the way that pitching staff, the way that the game ended on Friday or against Tennessee, now you come back, get early leads, and are able to hold the last 2 teams away. What have you seen of your pitching staff since that first Tennessee game that might have turned the corner?
I guess you can just say overall pitch execution. And I had a bad feeling all of a sudden when we had a pitch clock violation out of nowhere when Holt stood behind the mound and we're like, guys, what's he doing? God, let's go. And we end up walking that guy. Like, I think Oxford kind of uncharacteristically walked, right? Didn't he walk somebody in that Friday night thing that kind of got it going a little bit for them? So I had a little of a feeling of this ain't happening again. But I think the overall pitch execution simply was better. The stuff good. I thought the stuff the other night was good. Now Holtz, when you hang that breaking ball and then it was belt higher and it gets whacked into left center field, he didn't do that today. So I just think it's purely the execution of good stuff.
Coach, thank you very much and best of luck tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.